Here in front of us today is a 2022 Honda Accord. This Honda Accord has the 1.5 liter turbo with the CVT transmission. Today we're going to be pulling this thing into the shop and doing a transmission service on it. Before we get started, I would just like to mention if you guys are in the San Diego area and you are looking for a mechanic to get any work done on your vehicle, then feel free to reach out to us either on Instagram or Facebook. Both of those are linked down in the description below. From what both me and the master mechanic have seen, transmission services are very neglected on cars, and it is a very important thing to do to prolong the life of the transmission. So today we're going to be showing you exactly how to do that, so let's get started.
So first I'm going to start with popping the hood from the inside, the hood release. Then we come to the hood here, and there's a secondary latch right here in the center. Got to push it over with your finger right here. Allows us to open the hood. Then our hood prop is right here. Put it up. So I'm going to use this screwdriver to point to the dipstick of where I'm going to pull out here. So right down in here, see right here is the handle to the dipstick and the fillers. This doubles as a filler and the dipstick. So I'm going to remove this first before we lift the vehicle up. I blew this off ahead of time. You want to wipe around it to make sure you don't get debris into the transmission. We take this out so when we take the drain plug out, it doesn't chug. It just drains very easily. So see, after we pull the plug out, it's got debris around it, and I don't want that debris to fall into the transmission. So I'm going to carefully wipe that away from the hole so when I put the funnel or do anything down here, it doesn't bump it and fall inside the transmission. So I'm just going to use a shop rag. I'm going to go down there and wipe away from the hole. So now we got debris away from it. Cleaned up. I'm good with that. I'm going to lift it up now and we're going to drain the fluid. This job can be done the same way without the lift. The lift is just to make it easier to show you how to do the job. So all we did was lift on the points where you would jack it up. So you would jack here, lift the vehicle up, and you could put a jack stand here on the lower control arm because it has a lot of plastic underneath here. You have to be careful where you put it. So I would just put it on the control arm here. And then you'd want to get this level. So you'd want to lift the back of the vehicle too. So here's your rear jack point, the same spot, and you could do the same by putting a jack stand on the control arm here, somewhere in here, but you want to get the car up evenly. So now we need to remove this cover here. We got two Phillips screws here in the back. These are actually screwed all the way in. So then we got to remove these flatheads. So these aren't a full unscrew, they're just a half turn. So it'll turn like this and then they'll come out all the way. There's 4 of these. This cover's held. It overlaps right here, and then it has 2 spots in the back what locks it in. So you need to slide it backwards to remove it from the locks and then drop it down. So then we're going to have just a normal catch can. This is the drain right here in the transmission. You can see that it's more towards the front of the transmission. So if this was at an angle, like you just lifted the front of the vehicle, the training fluid is going to be more towards the back. So you're not going to get all the training fluid out of the pan here. So you want to have the vehicle pretty much ride level, like you're driving down the road. So you're able to get all the training fluid, the old fluid, out of the transmission. This is just a normal 3/8 drive square for the drain plug. So we just put it in here. See, it locks in. Loosen it up. And since we took the plug out, the filler plug, this isn't going to chug. It'll just come out as a stream. So we'll come back here. We're going to kind of overshoot it a little bit to catch the fluid. It's got a decent amount of threads, but you don't want to drop it. So we'll come out and we'll go fast. The capacity on this tranny is a little under 4 quarts. So whatever catch pan device you're using, make sure you're able to catch at least 4 quarts of fluid. And you always want to inspect the drain plug. It's got a magnet on the end here, and you want to see if there's anything crazy, any metal shavings. This little fuzzy kind of that's on here is a normal deal from the wear, the tranny, and what's going on. This is nothing outstanding here. This is pretty normal. But you want to clean this up. We're going to wipe it off. If you want to, you can replace the sealing washer. I find it fine to use them a couple times. So I just will take it off and just make sure there's no debris or anything around it. Give it a wipe. While I'm doing this, the transmission is pretty much done draining. We're almost to a drip. Sealing washer back on. This is wiped off. We'll check, make sure there's no debris on the sealing surface here on the pan. So now we'll put our plug back in. And then nothing crazy on this. You want to go get it snug, and then just a little bit. So we'll put that back in, we'll get it snug, and then we'll just give it a little pass snug. Doesn't need to go crazy tight. You rip the threads out of this pan really easily. Wipe it up, make sure we don't have any dripping. So now when I go to put the cover in, I got to go over the top of it right here, and then I got to check the back and make sure the 2 spots is locked in there, and then slide it forward. And then I like to put the ones in that are threaded, because you can see that it has a step on the screw. So if this is out of adjustment or out of alignment, it could catch on the aluminum going in. So I like to put the threaded ones in at first, then I can kind of move it a little bit to make sure it's not going to catch on the step. And once I know they're in there, not going to get pinched, anything crazy, tighten those down. Put our 4 screws back in. Just a half turn, and now we're going to lower it back down. So I'm going to be using a funnel a little flexi pipe on it so I can get it down in there. The capacity on this 3.9 quarts. So we'll start with 1, 2, 3. So on the factory quarts has a little gauge here. So we're just gonna stop it down in this area here. So I'm gonna call that 3.9. Use the factory fluid, the HCF2. Now I'm gonna pull the funnel out, but I don't wanna have any dripping coming out of the end of the pipe or the funnel when I do it. So I'm gonna take the rag, I'm gonna come down in here, get on the bottom of the funnel to block it off so it doesn't drip everywhere as I come out. I wanna make sure that around where the filler plug goes, that it's clean, there's no debris in the way. Filler plug here that we already wiped off and it's clean. We're just gonna put it back in. That's how I do the train services. Make sure you're not forgetting anything, everything's clean and clear. Vehicle's all done, train service finished.